The grid. Hopefully all the cars will be there and lined up. The leading cars on the grid, all from Pre83 Class C. You can see the bright blue bar next to the grid positions there, determining the class the drivers are in. David Howard with the maroon colours, that's Pre83 Class A for the bigger cars. Stuart Kay is in Class B. He's the grey colour. Alan Greenall in white, he's Pre66 Class A. James Everard with the blue stripe there, he's Pre66 Class B. The yellow stripe next to the first of those is Kevin Bottomley. That's Pre66 Class C, mostly minis in that class. And Pre66 Class D headed up by Patrick Harris. That's the pink stripe at the bottom right of the screen there. So you can tell the drivers' classes by the colours on the graphics. Pre66 Class F is orange. That's Patrick Keneally, 19th on the grid. That's the Lotus Cortina. The original touring car special, of course, the first saloon car to be homologated for touring car racing back in the 60s by Colin Chapman. And went on to win a few titles in British touring car racing. Even the legendary Jim Clark was British touring car champion back in 1964. The Pre83 division evoking memories of the Group 1 touring car era of the 70s and early 80s, before the Group A rules came in. See some cars from that era in the Pre93 category a little later on. That moving right up into the early 90s with some Super Touring style cars as well. Of course, Super Touring came in 1990 as a second class alongside the Cosworths in the British Touring Car Championship, those who know the history of Britain's premier motor racing division. Cars, I think, are about to make their way out from the assembly area, and they will be up to the grid very shortly indeed for this 15-minute race. So almost time to go racing on the Silverstone International Circuit. Here they come to the grid then, the two VW Golfs moving onto the Hanger Straights. There they are, Simon Jeffs in the colours of the Akai Hi-Fi Company in pole position with his Golf. Richard Lloyd was the first man in period in British touring cars to make a success of the Golf. Duncan Lefley's red car second on the grid. There's Stephen Primet, the multiple champion. Mike Luck's BMW is there, so he has made it out after a bit of an issue at the end of qualifying. Mark Lucock is there as well. Then David Howard with the Jaguar, Mark Cholerton with his blue and white Escort, Stuart Kay with the Triplex Capri, Tom Harvey with his white Mark 1 Escort. So completing the top 10 on the grid, there's the little Datsun in the old Datsun Works colours. That's Jonathan Corker. Then we've got the first of the Pre66 runners, that's Alan Greenall. That beautiful Ford Falcon. Bit of Australian beef out there. Frank Gardner was the star in Ford Falcons in period, the Australian in the 1960s. These are your leading runners on the grid, just coming up the Vale and into the Club Corner complex now, the slowest part of the circuit. Looks like they're just going to do an extra lap to get used to the wet conditions on their way to the grid. Before the 15-minute race gets underway. Just allowing the drivers to have this extra acclimatisation lap. There's one of the Lotus Cortinas, that's Tony Palmer, car number 2. And there's a rare car, that's the Opel Kadett, known in the UK as the Vauxhall Astra Mark 1. That's the yellow car there, Richard Woodford. There's Al Wayman, the Alfa Romeo behind him of James Everard, the second highest qualifier in the Pre66s. There's a couple of the minis as well. Blue car was Kevin Bottomley, Nathan Williams in the red one behind him. There's Andy Mesham, raced minis for many, many years. Alan Hersey there with the Reliant Scimitar. Nick Strong with his beautiful green and white Ford Capri Mark 1. That's a gorgeous car, that one. He's raced a Ford Classic as well in the past, among other things. The Alfa Romeo a bit sideways there. We haven't gone racing yet, James Everard. Don't try too hard just at the moment. This is just a sighting lap. So start to weave to warm their tyres up then. Getting heat into the tyres, very important in these cold and slippery conditions here at Silverstone. Back of this group is David Margulies in the Levant Garage Alfa Romeo GTV6 in the colours of the car that Andy Rouse won the 1983 British Saloon Car Championship, as it was called then. There's Stuart Kay, the club chairman, with the Triplex Capri. He's raced that car at Goodwood over the years as well. Jochen Maas, the former sports car and Formula One race winner, shared that car with him at Goodwood on a couple of occasions. Triplex Capri also raced in period by Jerry Marshall, the man who many agree is one of Britain's greatest ever saloon car racers. You can see how slippery it is out there. Stephen Primek just sliding the Escort there, ahead of Mike Luck and Mark Lucock. A bit of a commentator's nightmare there, so I'll apologise if I get those mixed up. The Orange Army out in force. Thank you to our volunteer marshals here at Silverstone's Day. We couldn't go racing without them. The two Volkswagen Golfs on the front row of the grid. First time we've seen them qualify at the top. They're normally back in the midfield, making the most of the slippery conditions. First time we've seen them qualify at the top. They're normally back in the midfield, making the most of the slippery conditions. Now we're just waiting to see if we are going to go racing this time, or whether they will get an additional green flag lap, given the conditions. Mike Luck in the BMW could be a favourite here. Mark Lucock. David Howard with the Jag, 6th on the grid, but only half a second off pole position. He might struggle to get the power of that big 5-litre engine down in these wet conditions. The majority of these cars are rear-wheel drive. The Golfs aren't. That's how they qualified at the top. Jonathan Corker moves into line with a little Datsun. Alan Hersey with Bluebird, his Reliant Scimitar. James Everard moves into line. There seems to be a couple of cars a little bit out of line here on the grid. I think Alan Hersey should be further back, but the marshals will hopefully sort that out. One car I can't see there is Alan Wayman with the Chevy Camaro, but he was out there, so whether he's had a problem on the green flag lap, I'm not sure. Right at the back there, you can see Keith Wright with the Morris Minor, the Bedfordshire driver, a plumber and heating engineer by trade, lining up with Michael Foley in the black Morris. There's the number 6, that's the Escort XR3i Mark III of Anton Martin. I think some of the confusion at the back is we've got number clashes between the two championships. We've got two number 7s out there, Kevin Bottomley and Richard Woodford. And we've got two number 6s, Anton Martin and Michael Foley. How beautiful are those two VW Golfs. They're going to use their front-wheel drive to advantage here. In these wet conditions, I think we might see them pull away in the early laps. Simon Jeffs in the red, white and black Akai Hi-Fi and Video car. 42, Duncan Leftley. So whether Alan Wayman has pulled back into the pits, I'm not sure. He doesn't seem to be on the grid with the yellow Camaro. Marshall's just checking the order at the back of the grid there. He's getting the Lotus Cortina into line. That is Tony Palmer, number 2. Normally races a Mark 1 Escort, but trying a Mark 1 Lotus Cortina instead this weekend. Stuart Kay has got the door open on the Capri, perhaps just cooling down a bit. maroon coloured Morris Minor is Patrick Harris, the defending Pre66 champion. Okay, so are we going to go racing this time, or will we see an additional green flag lap? I think we're going to get underway this time. Okay, here we go then. Down towards Abbey Corner for the first time. Mike Luck gets away well. The two Golfs will lead the way though into the first corner. It is Simon Jeffs from pole position. A cautious start then, off the grid then. We're away with our first race. It's the Golfs first and second, and after a decent getaway there, Mike Luck seems to have been taken by at least one of the escorts. Looks like Mike Lucock could be up into third place. They head up towards Farm and Village corners for the first time. Yes, Mark Lucock with a good start in the blue escort. He could be up into second place. They come through the left-hander at Farm, then up towards the right-hander, the Luke taking them onto the Hanger Straight. It's Jeffs that leads from Lucock, then Leftley, Mike Luck, and the two white escorts side by side. A good getaway by the number 47 of Thomas Harvey. And they down the Hanger Straights they come for the first time. It is the Akai Golf of Simon Jeffs with a clear lead in the early stages. Lucock up into second place, and Mike Luck's going to have a look as they go down towards Stowe Corner using the superior power of the BMW. He goes through up into third place. Jeffs is fourth. It's one of the escorts in fifth place there. Couldn't tell which one it was. Alan Greenall leads the Pre66 category in the Falcon. Second behind him, James Everett in the orange Alfa Romeo. Then it's the first of the Minis coming through. That looks like Nathan Williams as they come into the club complex for the first time. Simon Jeffs in the lead. You can see how slippery it is there. They're sliding all over the place. Even the Golf had a big twitch there of Duncan Leftley. The two white escorts nose to tail as they complete the opening lap of the weekend here at Silverstone, and Simon Jeffs already has a clear lead. He's just over 3 seconds clear of the second place battle. Mike Luck had a look up the inside of Mark Lucock there into Abbey Corner. Has he been able to make it through for second? Yes, the BMW is through. It's Leftley in fourth place. The rest of the pack streams its way across the line. There's Piers Grange in the Ford Mustang further back. We've lost Peter Millington. The number 64, the Hillman Avenger, has come to a halt, so problems at Club Corner. Some of the tail end runners. Patrick Harris leading this group ahead of the number 26, Steve Evans, in the Austin A40 there. Shares that car with Brian Bedford. He'll be out in the second race tomorrow. Still pretty wet out there, as you can see. A bit of rain coming down. The wipers are going. It's the Golf that leads from the BMW. Then the Escorts third and fourth. Duncan Leftley's Golf is down to fifth. Jonathan Corker going well. He's up into sixth position in the Datsun. David Howard using the power of the Jag there to power past the second of the white escorts. Stephen Primet round the outside of Mark Lucock into Stowe. A good move there by the multiple Pre83 champion in the Mark 1 escorts. Trying to fight back is Duncan Leftley. Jonathan Corker going superbly. He had a good day at Snetterton in the little Datsun as well. And Simon Jeffs with a clear lead in the Golf. David Howard just ahead of Stuart Kay. Behind them, Mark Cholerton in the Mark 2 escorts. Very, very tentative, you can see at the moment. The drivers just tiptoeing their way through the club complex. There's Al Greenall in the Pre66 leading car. Second is Nathan Williams with his Mini. Everett down to third, then Kevin Bottomley with his Mini, and next to Andy Mesham. Leaders over the line to complete their second lap. Jeffs leads from Luck by nearly 5 seconds. That Golf is clearing off in front. He's obviously done the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 30.84. That's about 10 seconds off his pole position time. It is worsening out there through Village for the third time. There's number 201. That's the Lotus Cortina of Patrick Keneally. Came over the line further down the order in 19th place. Lost a couple of cars. Peter Millington didn't complete the first lap. Alan Wayman, it looked like, didn't take the start in the Camaro. Jeffs with a clear lead down the Hanger Straight for the third time. Then Mike Luck in second place in the BMW. More importantly, he's leading his class ahead of Stephen Primet. Mark Lucock battling with Duncan Leftley. Then Corker, Howard, Tom Harvey's escort dropping back behind the triplex Capri of Stuart Kay there. Throwing the escort around. Well, the Mark 1 escort famous as a rally car as well, and Tom Harvey sideways rally style. The marshals have removed the Peter Millington car at the bottom of the screen there, the Avenger, out of it. That Means he'll be starting at the back for tomorrow's second race. The results of the first race determining the grid for the second. The Al Wayman starting right at the back. He didn't take the start. Hillman Avenger did win the British Saloon Car Championship a couple of times. Bernard Unit was the driver back in the 70s. It is getting worse out there. You can see the rain coming down. 10 minutes of the race to go, so we're at 1/3 distance in this race for the Classic Touring Car Pre66 and Pre83 classes, with Simon Jeffs clear at the front in the Golf. New fastest lap of the race, though, done by Stephen Primet, 1:30.387 that time through. So he's got the fastest lap of the race, trying to close up on the two leaders. Pre66 is still led by Alan Greenall, who's 12th overall in the Ford Falcon. Here come your leaders. Conditions continuing to worsen. Look at Mike Luck moving around there, trying to make the BMW as wide as possible to hold off Stephen Primet, who's on a charge in the Escort. David Howard's on a charge as well in the background, straight past Jonathan Corker down the straight. His next target will be the number 42 of Duncan Lefley. So David Howard on the move in the Jag, but Corker back round the outside on the brakes. Look at that. Great move by the little Datsun. Really holding its own here, and Mike Luck's had a spin. Mike Luck has spun the BMW coming into the Vale. So the 78 car will drop back down further down the top 10. So the BMW caught out in the wet there. Rejoins behind Stuart Kay in the number 78. There's another car going sideways there. That's Jonathan Corker. Nearly lost it. How did he stay ahead of David Howard there? Corker's really flinging that Datsun round. Absolute joy to watch, but it's not helping his lap times. Well, Jeffs is away up the road. It's Mike Lucock in second place. Have we lost Stephen Primet? Have a look as they come through there. He hasn't shown up on my timing screen there. I don't think Stephen Primet has come through in the Escort. He must have tangled with Mike Luck. That I think was Primet coming through. Was it just ahead of Alan Greenall, or was that Tom? No, that was Tom Harvey. I apologise. So I think we've lost Stephen Primet. That will have a bearing on the championship, because they were battling for the championship lead, Primet and Luck. Here's the fights for what is now second place. Jonathan Corker is flying in that Datsun. David Howard coming through as well. Mike Luck recovering. This is for second place. It looks like the M1 on a bad day. There's 7 of them at it now. Mark Chullerton trying to get in on this as well. Here comes Howard. He's got through everybody, so he's finally getting the power of the Jag down. And he's now through into second place. Or is he? No, Mark Lucock holds him off in the blue Escort. This is great stuff. Corker up to 4th in the Datsun. It's Lefley 5th. There's Jeffs, the race leader, as it starts to brighten up just a little. The thing with Silverstone is it can be raining on one side of the circuit and sunny on the other. It has its own weather system here, Silverstone. So it's Lucock second, Howard and Corker side by side for third. Look out, Jonathan Corker nearly lost the Datsun. He's down to 4th, and it's Lefley, Stuart Kay, Mike Luck, and just behind them Mark Chullerton's Mark II Escort RS2000. This is terrific racing. We're just past half distance. Over 12.5 seconds now. Simon Jeffs is missing out on all the fun. He's away up the road. The second place is still Lucock. We have lost Stephen Primet. Looks like he is out of the race. Tangled with Mike Luck coming through the Vale. Here's some of the Pre66 runners further back. That's Tony Palmer in his Cortina. He's 23rd overall as they slip and slide their way through. Michael Foley's Morris Minor towards the back of the field. The leader may well be coming up to lap these soon. Here's a battle between Andy Mesham and the Alfa Romeo of James Everard. Back with our second place fight. Mike Luck has got ahead of Duncan Lefley. Still second is Lucock, third is Howard. Corker under pressure from Stuart Kay, going great guns in the Triplex Capri. Mike Luck is up behind them. Looks like one of his windows is coming loose there. You can see the plastic window flapping on the BMW. Gives him a bit of extra ventilation so his windscreen won't steam up at least. Ex-Clubman's racer chasing down Corker. He's just lost out to Stuart Kay. The Capri more powerful in a straight line. There goes Jeffs. We just caught a glimpse of him. He's lapped some of the Pre66 runners. Patrick Harris, Keith Wright and Steve Evans in the A40. Lucock under fire from Howard now. Then Kay's up to 4th in the Capri. Well, Jeffs has already gone through. Just under 6 minutes of this race to go. Here comes the second place fight. They've got to get through these back markers. The blue flag's waving from the marshals to warn the back markers. The leaders are closing on them to lap them. David Howard has a look on the inside at Abbey. I don't think he'll get through there. Mark Lucock in the more manoeuvrable Escort, holds him off. Up towards Village and Farm. Here comes Simon Jeffs, controlled this race from the off. He leads by nearly 13 seconds. There's Tom Harvey. He's in 9th place ahead of David Margulies. There's the Pre66 leader. That is Alan Greenall. This is the fight for 2nd place. Mark Lucock ahead of David Howard. No, it's Stuart Kay in 3rd. He nearly clips the back of the Escort there. I thought Stuart Kay was going to go straight on at the loop there. But he hasn't lost out. Corker's behind him. Howard's down to 5th, so he must have made a mistake coming through the exit of Abbey. He's down to 5th now. Luck is 6th. 7th is Duncan Leftley. Mark Chollerton is 8th. 7 cars going at it. Corker now up the inside into Stowe. Stuart Kay doesn't give way. There's Howard in the British Leyland livery Jaguar. Chased by Mike Luck. This is where he tangled with Primet earlier on. Again, Corker sideways in the Datsun. Somehow Mark Lucock holding off all of this group. Into Club Corner. Mike Luck has a look on the inside. He's not close enough to David Howard though. Duncan Leftley's run wide in the Golf, goes over the curbs. Just outbraked himself, I think, there. Jonathan Corker's driving like he's in a rallycross, going so sideways all the time. 4 minutes of the race to go. Jeff's lead is now stretched to over 15.5 seconds, so he's heading for victory in the Golf. He's in the same class as the Escorts and the BMW, so they won't want to be defeated here, taking championship points off them. Jeffs is away and gone up front. The sun starts to burn through the clouds here at Silverstone. Weather can change from one lap to the next on this circuit. It's got its own weather system. Here's the battle for second. Stuart Kay in the Capri, coming up to the loop, attacking Mark Lucock, winner at Snetterton a few weeks ago in his Escorts. Stuart Kay has also raced a Ford Mustang this season in Classic Thunder. He's got his headlights on to let Mark Lucock know he's behind him. David Howard's back up to 4th. 5th is Mike Luck. 6th is Jonathan Corker. Mark Chollerton behind them in 7th in his Escort. Stuart Kay hasn't had an overall podium in the Capri for some time. He's driving brilliantly here. Well, Simon Jeffs, unless something goes wrong with the Golf, is not going to be caught here. Up towards the club complex comes this absorbing second place battle for the Classic Touring Car Pre83 category. They fling it through sideways. This is an absolute joy to watch. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all line astern now. Lucock, Kay and Howard. Behind them Luck, then it's Corker and Chollerton. David Howard moves to the inside, defending there from Stuart Kay. Got across him there over the grid markings. He's up to 3rd. Again, the brute power of that Jag telling in a straight line. Further behind them in 8th place we've got Tom Harvey with the Escorts. I think we may have lost Duncan Leftley. Unfortunately, the second Golf hasn't come through. Alan Hersey's Reliant being lapped there. Look at that twitch from Alan Greenall in the background, really fighting the big V8 engine Ford Falcon. He's got Nick Strong's Capri behind him, and he's got these back markers to dive bomb as well. Now, I think we've lost Duncan Leftley, sadly. He's disappeared somewhere. We saw him run wide at the end of the previous lap. He's down towards the tail of the field. I think he's had a spin somewhere. David Howard charges through into 2nd place on the Hanger Straight past Mark Lucock, so the Jag coming on strong. I don't think he's going to catch Simon Jeffs though. Taking a look at the lap times, yeah, he's a few seconds down on Jeffs, who's just done the fastest lap of the race, 1:29.712 in the Golf. Howard 2nd, Lucock 3rd, Kay 4th, the order through this time. Then it is Mike Luck, who's recovered well from that spin earlier on at the Vale. So Jeffs has gone over the line. This will be last lap, I think. David Howard still 2nd in the Big Cat. The colours of the cars that ran in the European Touring Car Championship in the early 80s. They were XJ Coupes, not the XJ12 Saloon. Andy Rouse was among the drivers for them. Stuart Kay still there in 4th. Leader coming up to lap Piers Grange, the reigning Blue Oval Saloon Series champion, swapping his Escorts for that beautiful Ford Mustang. Really is a stunning car, that one. There's Tom Harvey all on his own in what is now 8th place. David Margulies and Alan Greenall rounding out the top 10 overall. Greenall's got Nick Strong's Capri on his tail though. Here's the fight for 3rd. There's the leaderboard in the classes. Jeff's leading Class C in the Pre83s, David Howard leading Class A, Stuart K Class B, and Tom Harvey Class D. In the Pre66s, Alan Greenall Class A. It's Nathan Williams Mini in Class C. Class B is James Everard, and Class F for the Lotus Cortinas is Patrick Keneally. Never mind that though, because we're side by side in the Stowe corner. Lucock just holds off Stuart K for third place. Looks like we may see the checkered flag this time through. Waiting for Simon Jeffs to come through. Clock has wound down to 0. And there is the checkered flag. Simon Jeffs takes the win. Flag to flag in the Volkswagen Golf. Nice weather for golf, you might say. Who's going to be through for second? It's going to be David Howard in the Jaguar. He crosses the line second. Mark Lucock just holds off Stuart K for third place. Fourth will go to Stuart K. Fifth is Mike Luck. Sixth is Jonathan Corker. Then Mark Cholerton will bring the Escort home in seventh position. And Tom Harvey celebrates with a slide over the line for eighth place. Spectacular stuff. There's Colin Claxton, we caught a glimpse of there with the Triumph Dolomites. Ninth place goes to David Margulies, and here's our Pre66 winner, Alan Greenall, takes another win in the Pre66 category, supported by Pultec. Rest of the finishers will come through. We'll have a look at the class winners as they come across the line. Pre83 Class C won by Simon Jeffs, Class A by David Howard, Class B by Stuart K, Class D by Tom Harvey, the Pre66 overall and Class A by Alan Greenall. Class C goes to Nathan Williams with the Mini just on the line there, ahead of... oh, that was Andy Mesham, sorry, that was for second in class, so I apologise. Mesham just beating Kevin Bottomley home for second in class, apologies there. Class B, won by the Alfa Romeo there of Everard, and Class F for the Lotus Cortinas is won by Patrick Keneally in car number 201. Class D for the Pre66s, well, that's been won by the lapped Morris Minor of Patrick Harris, another class win for Patrick Harris. Duncan Leffley, the golf we lost, he pulled into the pits with a couple of laps to go, and we lost Stephen Primet, unfortunately, a rare retirement for him. Alan Wayman and Peter Millington were early casualties as well. So 26 cars out of the 29 that started went the distance. Congratulations, Simon Jeffs. His first, I believe that's his first overall win with the VW Golf. David Howard got the fastest lap on the final lap of the race there, 1:27.995. So very well done to our Pre83 and Pre66 racers in very trying conditions there. And great stuff there in our first race of the day here at Silverstone. Ian Waterhouse is waiting down in the pits to talk to our race winner in a second.
Right, everybody, welcome down to Parc Ferme. I'm here with the winner, Simon Jeffs, as you can see, winner of the Pre83s. We must, here he is, we'll let him get his straps off and have a quick word.
Hello there.
Simon, that looked, dare I say, fairly comfortable. It's probably not fair to say, though, is it?
No, quite nervous, really, because it's the first time I've ever been on pole.
Ah, well, congratulations.
Thank you. I've never been on a podium.
Wow.
So,
double congratulations.
What a great day.
And you've won as well.
Really pleased.
Look, you've had all conditions here, haven't we? The sun's out now, but that doesn't tell the story. It was raining at the start of the race. Was it quite tricky and slippy out there?
You had to be a little bit careful, yeah. But these handle very well in the wet. There's no doubt about it. So we do have a bit of an advantage over the Escorts.
Yes, look, I mean, the start of the race, it looked like Duncan next to you. He got a slightly better start, but then as you came round to finish lap one, he kind of disappeared a little bit. What happened?
Well, I honestly don't know. I just decided today that I was just going to concentrate on my race. I wasn't going to, look in my mirrors too much. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, so that was the plan.
Well done, Ed. It's a comfortable victory. Simon, just congratulations.